Hello, hello, salon professionals and practitioners, and welcome to the Savvy Salon Summit. I'm Suzanne L. Anderson of Be Salon Savvy, and I'm here with Krystine Sherwood, and we're empowering the beauty business to new heights. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the pre-recorded interview, and here we are live on YouTube. So any questions that you may have of Krystine that came from watching the video, please feel free to enter those into the YouTube chat and we will get to those questions. Just know that there's a little bit of a delay, but I will be watching and we'll get to them as fast as we can. So Krystine, welcome back to the Savvy Salon Summit. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I have been so excited about this day. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you've had so many interactions. I've seen on social media, lots of people that follow you have been waiting for this to finally be released. Like the rest of us, we're just happy to be able to get all of this information out to everybody. So, however, there are some people who probably did not get a chance to see the Q&A, or I'm sorry, the pre-recorded interview. So let's have you revisit what your offer is for the all access pass holders.
Yes. Okay. So for the all access pass people, my offer is actually my brand new online course. It's called Salon and Spa Energy Leadership. And in short, it's SEL, and it's created for the salon or spa pro to not only have an amazing experience for themselves, because a lot of times it can be brutal for us, but it's so that you can become a leader in your salon or spa, make more money, and have your clients always be coming back to you. It really ups that loyalty factor while you're making money. You know, it encompasses a little bit of everything you need to know so that you're not left high and dry, especially now in this time of post COVID. So it's really exciting. It's should I talk about the pricing or no?
Suzanne? No, you absolutely can. You just don't have to give away the coupon code or anything, because that's for the all access pass holder, so they have access to that information.
Okay. Well, in any case, if you are an all access pass holder, it is $198 a one-time payment. Or if you want to make 3 payments of $66, you can do that. If you are a free ticket person, definitely get your all access pass, because you're going to want to get in on this. I discuss a lot of stuff because I am a coach too. So I talk about our blocks and what's making us, freeze up in the back bar or anything like that. And I help you determine like where you are in your engagement, I guess, scale with your clients. So it's a really fun course. It's probably my favorite, even though I made it. It's really cool.
So how long is the course? Give us an idea of what day of the week it meets, or how many weeks in a row, or how that works.
Okay, so everything has already been it's pre-recorded. It's a mixture of videos and free downloads and freebies and bonuses into some of my other programs, but it's only 5 modules. You work at your own pace. Okay. However, that being said, as artists, we really need to like use all of our senses to really get into it. So that's how I kind of created it. And it can be intense in some parts, especially when it gets to like the core disciplines or just some of that self-work. This course really is for anybody and every artist who is willing to put in the work, who's willing to self-evaluate, who likes those self-development things, that you just like those little quizzes you always take on Facebook and such. It's for those people who really want to like get to know themselves better. So yeah.
Gotcha. So here's when people say that this is for the people that ABC, this course is for this person. I always like to ask, who is this course not for?
This course is not for the stylist or esthetician who has learned everything already. This course is not for the artist who's like, I hate examining myself. Because believe me, they are out there. I have met them and it shows. So if you are those people, this is not for you. Just pass. Just hard pass, because you're not going to get anything out of it.
Okay. Well, I think there's value in saying that, because unfortunately, a lot of people who feel like that, I don't think they even realize it. And so just throwing it out there, somebody might go, is that me? Are they talking about me? But anyway, so, okay, great. I think we have that covered. One of the things that I have on my notes here that we meant to talk about in the pre-recorded interview, we didn't get there, is you have something about the 5 yeses. And I won't ask you to go over all 5 of them, but I will ask, what's your favorite?
Okay.
Of the 5 yeses.
Okay, so my favorite is probably the last one, the 5th yes, because that's the close, and that's the one that you have that client, okay, forever and ever, as long as you're professional, right? The 5 yeses is married with the consultation. And I won't give away too much of the 5 yeses because it's really like a key part of the course. But if you have ever been speaking with a client and you're very unsure, you have an idea of what they want, but you're talking to them and they're just not giving you those answers that yes, go ahead, that's what I want. Yes, you understand me. Yes, I love what you're doing. If you're not getting that, this particular module, it's its own module in the course, the 5 yeses will tell you, it will indicate to you where your client's at. And so it's a point that you get and you're like, oh, okay, that's a yes. Okay, got that. Yes, I can move to the next one. Oh, got that one. When you get the 5, that relationship is sealed. And you can know for certain, you can walk away with confidence, because a lot of us second guess everything throughout the whole 2-hour visit. You can walk away knowing, okay, I did everything I was supposed to do, and they gave me the permission to do it and use my creative freedom. So I can sleep at night because I did what I was supposed to.
Yeah. So a great checklist, if you will.
Yeah.
So, exactly. I'm a big fan of the checklist. I make checklists for myself all the time.
Yeah, me too.
For my checklists.
So. Me too. But it's that feeling of accomplishment. Like in my coaching, I do teach, start with the little things, make really small little itty bitty things and like check them off your list. And you feel that, oh, I did it. Mm-hmm. And so these 5 yeses is that like expansion of that feeling, that relief of, oh, I did it. So yeah.
I'm sure that you don't physically have like a list there, and as you're doing the consultation,
no,
check. That they just eventually will become second nature for you when you've done it enough. But I like what you were saying about the feeling of checking something off. Speaking of other checklists, so many things now have gone digital or on your phone or some kind of device instead of the old-fashioned actual list where you wrote on a piece of paper and you checked it off. A little something about me, I still do that. I still have, a paper book or a paper journal kind of thing. And not all of my appointments are on the phone. Yeah, just a regular notebook. Look at that. Because the reason is there is such satisfaction in being able to cross it out, what you had wrote earlier, like crossed off, accomplished. I really think that there is like a dopamine release that comes with it. I'm not a scientist. I don't have any scientific background about it or anything, but I think it is more effective than deleting it off of your phone or however you do it. Like, even if you use that strike out thing, it's not the same as actually taking your hand and being able to scratch something off of the list. So That's just my own, and my own little pointer for other people. If they're trying to make the checklist thing work for them and they find that it's not working well for them on their device, then just go old school and like go back to the pencil and paper.
Exactly. I totally agree. I do both things because sometimes, I'm on the go and I have something, I'm thinking about something and I'll type it in my phone, right? But I will forget what I wrote in my phone, and it was supposed to be a list for myself. I've tried it. I test it all the time, and nothing beats using our sensory nerves, like all of that, touching, feeling, smelling, experiencing, like that's what we have naturally. And we've gotten to a point where we kind of have forgotten that. I don't know how, but we have. So yeah, I'm all about the lists. The 5 yes is actually a printout. So you can print it and feel it and touch it, cross it out if you want to, like
make some notes on it.
yeah,
All
you
of
can
those things.
notes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, good. So I want to pick your brain a little bit on a topic that has been out there quite a bit lately, now that we're post-pandemic, and there's been so many shifts of where people have made a change on where they want to work, or maybe they've been always thinking about opening a business of their own, and this just pushed that forward for them. But there's hesitance too, right? Because so many things are different right now going into the industry. I'm a big believer that this could be the best time to enter the industry in history. It just depends on which side of the fence you're on and how you want to see it. But I want to see what your thoughts are on that. What would you say to somebody who is looking to start out? You're a salon owner, and I think you would have some good insight there.
Absolutely. Okay, so because of the pandemic, a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands. And so they came out of this and they put up their own salon, whether they were an independent, whether they worked for a commissioned or other kind of salon. They were having new beginnings in every sense of the word. And even for us in my salon, we took that time to really up our recruitment game, because everybody is looking for that new start. And so my biggest insight, I guess, for that question is just do it.
Like, you're stealing the slogan. Oh no.
Just do it. Because the minute you start thinking about it too hard, you totally mess yourself up. If you have that desire, you have that desire for a purpose. So go live your purpose.
Right.
Don't miserable anywhere and everywhere. And that's a vibe and that's contagious. And you're just going to infect everybody else. A lot of people during this time, they, because of like the unemployment and all of that, they switched places, and there was like a shift. And so everybody was like, oh, like whole salons had like a brand new staff because some other salon, it's so crazy. But you know what? If that's going to make you happy and you're happier there, just do it.
Yeah. There's something about the inner voice and listening to that inner voice when it's telling you that it's time for a change, and just getting to a place in your life where you're comfortable listening to that inner voice. I know exactly when that happened for me in my life, when I finally had this moment. My very good friend Julie pointed it out to me because I had shared something and I was like, I knew this. I remember thinking that this was going to happen. And she pointed out, and it was something not so good, but she's like, oh, this is good news. And I was like, what? Are you crazy? Why are you saying this is good news? This is not something that's great that's happening to me right now. Where's your support? And she's like, it's good news because now you know to always listen to that voice because it's always dead on. I was like, anyway, that was solid advice. And obviously it's something that I don't mind sharing and passing on to other people. So,
and of course it takes practice.
Yes.
takes practice because you hear it and you know, shove it to the side and you're like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And then you screw yourself every single time you don't listen.
Mhm.
So yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Stories like
The other thing I was going to say about, you know, somebody branching out into something different or on their own and feeling like that voice is telling me. We talked about it in the pre-recorded interview about we're perfectionists in this industry. And so I can see where that holds a lot of people back because they're wanting it to be absolutely perfect from the very start and from opening or whatever the situation might be. And I have to just share, like, you gotta let the absolute, it has to be perfect or it can't happen at all. That has to be shelved because perfection is just, it's an illusion anyway, right? Because it's perception.
yeah,
What is perfect to you isn't perfect to somebody else. Your standards are probably higher than what the clientele is going to expect, perhaps. So the whole, I have to practice what I preach. I do the perfectionist thing that it holds me back. So I've had to really learn. And it's again, something that is worth sharing, that I see people holding themselves back because they're the fear that it won't be perfect. So enjoy the journey, right? I mean, it
exactly.
just gets started somewhere. They're baby steps, or the figure of speech of you can't eat a whole elephant in one meal, you know, or how do you eat a whole elephant, I think is the figure of speech. Well,
Yeah,
you just do it one meal at a time.
exactly.
So, um,
Learning experience. Even having a salon for however many years it's been already, I really don't even know. Um, you learn something every single day. Every day. Like just when you think you got it down, you're like, oh my God, I didn't learn that bit. Are you serious? Okay, here we go. And you just go with it. And so if you just go out and throw yourself in it, the sooner you throw yourself in it, the better.
mhm,
Because then you get to learn all of these lessons instead of you thinking, oh my God, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Oh my goodness, I am a failure. All I do is fail, fail, fail. No, you find out all the different ways that you're not supposed to do it
mhm.
and what works for you. And it's a learning process. Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's something that's interesting that I see in this industry all the time is that when we entered into the industry, we went to some sort of trade school, right?
Mhm.
And so we started not knowing, we started fresh, and we were always trying new things. We weren't afraid to step out and try it, or she would have never have gotten to the point where you enrolled in school. So
Mhm.
somewhere along the way, once we graduate from trade school and become licensed, poof, that,
Mhm.
where does that go? That I'm still willing to try new things and step out of my comfort zone. We get into this like little bubble of comfort and want to stay there.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people, like, remember, who's that person? Where's that person? Where's that spirit of I'm gonna do this new thing?
Yeah.
Um, the other side of that is that you also went to somebody. I'm sure it's because the state required you to,
Mhm.
but you had to go to somebody to get help to do it, to learn it, to develop that skill. And so, there again, when we're looking at branching out and getting out of our comfort zone, don't be afraid to look for help, ask for help. Go
Thank you.
to, go to some, and it can be like you or I in the coaching field, but I also mean, like, if you're going to build a salon and whether you need a contractor or an architect, or I mean, there's so many things that go into it depending on what scale you're looking at. But making sure that you have the right people on your team, if you will, to help
Mhm.
you with the right things and the right steps along the way. Trying to do it everything all by yourself. Um, I mean, we've all been guilty of that. Like, I'm sure everybody can think of a project that they decided, oh, this DIY, I'm just, I'll do this and I'll be all the participants. And halfway through it, you're like, what was I thinking? I need more than just me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So those projects of branching out into your career and either building a salon or opening up a studio or something like that, there's help out there. And so just remember that spirit that was somewhere at some point in time when you were in trade school. So
no, I love that. I love that, Suzanne. Exactly. Yeah.
So something else that I like to ask of all of the speakers have shared before. So if you've watched any of the other videos, you might have a little insight on this question. But I love to hear from each coach, what's the one thing in the industry that you think or wish was better or would evolve or create? What is the one thing that you wish you would see in the industry?
What would I wish I would see in the industry now, post-pandemic?
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the pandemic. It could just be, I just love the idea of when sometimes we have those things that we keep like our best kept secret. And if it's something that you really do want to see for the industry, there's so much power in just putting it out there. Like once you say something, have you ever done that? You're like, I'm gonna put a number out there because this is the number I'm looking for or whatever. And then the number shows up.
Yes.
So also just because people have some really great ideas that don't ever get shared. And if you share it here, then maybe somebody hears it and they jump on that bandwagon. And just as a community, that's how we can continue to improve our industry. So,
oh my goodness. Okay. So the big one for me, in any of my programs and just talking to me, it's always communication, such a big deal for me. Okay. If you don't ask for what you need, like what we were talking before, you're not going to get it. If you don't communicate to your client of the game plan that you're going to be doing in their 2-hour visit for color, they're not going to know. Their expectations are going to be so high, and then it's going to come out and it's going to be a mess and they're not going to like it. Communicate is big. When I go to the hair shows, whether that's in Orlando or in New York or anything like that, you hear a lot of talking and you hear a lot of noise, but are you listening to the message? Like, is the message clear? And perhaps as an industry, we need to be more concise and like right to it as to what we want and what kind of person we are not talking to and who we are talking to, Another thing as an industry is to have that servant's heart. I see a lot of cosmetology students. I see, even the more experienced artists, estheticians or makeup artists, massage therapists, even. If you don't have a willing heart, if you are not willing to be of service to your fellow woman, your fellow man, this is not the industry for you. Okay. I've had stylists tell me, oh yeah, well, the client wasn't talking to me. I'm sorry. What? Please stop everything. The client has to talk to you? No, the client's paying. You go talk to the client. And we have this like ego trip, I think, that happens. And it prevents us from serving. And want to be a leader, you need to know how to serve. You need to be able to work all the levels, because the minute we have that ego, that to me, in my experience, in my career, that to me is the true failure. Because I know everything already, so I'm done.
Yeah.
And like, Oh my goodness, no. The minute you stop learning, you die. So what are you saying?
Where
So
do you think that comes from? What,
where do I think that comes from? I have no idea. I see it a lot
right.
in the younger generation coming in. Um, I mean, I see it everywhere, but I ask myself that all the time, like, what is happening that that they're entitled? Like, what's going on that we're becoming? It could be okay. It could be the taking boundaries. We need to set boundaries to
Mhm.
have healthy relationships for clients and professionals. But perhaps that is being taken too far, possibly. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, those are my things that I want to see more in the industry. More direct communication and that servant's heart, because people, especially now, they need that hug. They need to know that they're welcome somewhere.
Right.
And a lot of places, even on the phone, they're like, yeah, hello. Yeah, thanks for calling. What do you want? It's like, oh no, I don't feel welcome there. I don't feel loved. And people are acting up right now in the whole world, and we are their safe space in
Mm-hmm.
every way. Like, they
Yeah.
want to feel good. So we need to be able to be understanding and serving with boundaries, but not take it overboard where we become divas. Like, that's not, I don't know. I'm a very conservative, old school type of professional. So I don't put up with that very much.
So your background is in communication, right? Like,
Yes, I do have a degree in communication. Absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah.
um, do you see, or do you feel like some of this comes from um, all the texting, the devices that we have? Like, people have had to give up talking, or just not necessarily had to give it up, but it's just not a necessity as it was before. And so
So,
therefore we don't have this skill set anymore. Like, if you don't use it, you
yeah,
lose it, kind of thing.
it could be, that could be, because for instance, during my particular lockdown here in Florida, I was connecting with people all over the world, and it really fed that human interaction. Like, it wasn't the best, but it did feed that need that I had at that time, and it
Mm-hmm.
was great. But then now, coming out of it, and even before all of this, yeah, there is a lack of skill in communicating, like
Mm-hmm.
just the basics, like hello, good morning, how are you? you know the younger kids, they're just, I don't know what's going on. They don't know how to talk. They don't know body language, the cues that's happening. um and because social media is becoming such a vital part of our lives, the older, more experienced people, they're kind of losing it too, because they're like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a really weird spectrum of everything layering on each other, and it's we need to get back to what makes us great.
Well, that's one of the things that makes the salon industry, especially now, so important and really actually powerful, is that it is one of the places that you still have to actually physically visit. Um,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the doctor, we have a telecommunication system that, unless you absolutely have to be seen in the office, you could just be seen like this. So
Uh-huh.
we're one of the few industries that'll never happen. You still have to go to a actual business if you want to get a haircut or a massage or your nails done. Um, and so for a lot of people, that's their only interaction, like really face to face, or their only physical touch by
Right.
another human being. And there's so many studies out there that say like how important physical touch from another human being is. So I think sometimes it just goes, um, and unnoticed of or forgotten about how important our industry is in that regard. People don't realize it until they've lost it, and it's one of the things that I think came from the pandemic is that aha, that people realized, oh my gosh, how good that is for my mental health to have that type of interaction, and the salon place to go visit. So we as professionals and practitioners want to keep that bar high, you know, so that this is, like you said, this is their safe place of, for some people, it makes me think of that show Cheers, where you want to go somewhere where everybody knows your name. Like this is like the salon is the next thing after that. Like the place that you can go where everybody knows your name when you come in, and there's great relationships that have been cultivated there. And so that's one of the things that I do love about this business so much. And I know will never change. That's never going to go away. So
no, I do. I'm so happy you said that. Yeah, that is my favorite part of it too, because we all have a story. We all have a need. It's just about being listened to and heard.
Right.
You know, I love it. Love it.
Well, I want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to share anything else that you might have that we didn't cover. We've covered a lot of great points here, but before we close, is there anything that you didn't get to share?
I think in the replay, I had mentioned that there was a limit of 9 people or something.
Oh, yes, you did.
That is fixed. Okay. It is open to all. Okay. The all access pass members. Okay. If you do decide to sign up for the course and something funky happens, please send me an email. Yes. I love connecting. So send me an email, follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and reach out to me. Ask for what you need. And I will get to work on that for you. Also, I think we're having a bonus or something, right, Suzanne? It was a bonus of a 30-minute values assessment or something. I am offering that too. So that's again for the all access pass holders. But in any case, yeah, I feel good about what we talked about today. We did cover a lot.
Yeah.
But we covered everything. So
yes, I see it right here on the thing that there's a free core value assessment with a 30-minute session of the results. So that sounds really interesting. I might do that. Okay. Oh, yes, it's always fun. I could have these conversations with like-minded people for hours. So
always love it.
Okay. Well, you guys heard, if you don't have the all access pass yet, please don't hesitate to click on the button and upgrade. Their time is getting short for the ability to upgrade. So you can take advantage of Krystine's wonderful offer. So thank you for being here so much.
Thank you. I can't wait for next year.
Somebody else just said that. I was like, oh, wow, they just put that out there. So stay tuned. We'll see. But thank you. That's encouraging and flattering. I appreciate it. So, okay, everybody. I'm Suzanne Anderson from Be Salon Savvy with Krystine Sherwood, and we're here empowering the beauty business to new heights at the Savvy Salon Summit. We'll see you at the next interview. Bye.
Bye.